Hi, how are you? Thank you for being here today. And this is my second day here. Second day here at San Francisco. And two of our friends gonna leave later this afternoon. And we got a little difficulty in the timing, so some people got here a little early than other, and then have to leave a little early than the other, because I'm leaving tomorrow noon, and then the other two also. But yesterday was the most fun I've had in a long time. And today, in this episode, I just wanted to say that I'm not gonna be saying anything, inspirational or groundbreaking or anything like that. It's just me talking about my just life, really, and nothing important today. And just want to put that out of the way so you can click it away, or skip to the next episode, or whatever. But just want to give you a heads up that it's nothing really good, I think. But yeah, ever since I've moved here to the US since 2013, and right now is actually October, so I moved October 13, 2013, and now it's October 9, 2025, so it's been like a good 12 years, and it's been some time, but this is like the first time I've ever gone on a vacation with friends. Isn't that wild? Like the very, very, very first time that I've ever been on, on a vacation, or hanging out, or just going on a trip, a road trip, or going somewhere, doing something fun with other people at my age, or any age actually. And it's definitely something I'll remember. I'll tell you that. And it's not that we did anything special or anything. All we did were driving around the coast, taking pictures, and just taking in the views of the oceans, and just enjoy each other company. And it was beautiful. Even though we're not gonna be spending as much time today, but I'm sure we're gonna make the most out of it. Right now is 7:40 a.m. and that's still asleep, so they won't be up until like 9 or 10. But I've been sitting here for a while now, and it's just a great view. And I'm sitting on a car. I'm sitting on this Jeep Wagoneer. And funny story, I rented a sedan. I rented the cheapest option, but turned out they ran out of all the cheapest option. they rent out all the cars at the rental place. So they gave me a different one, this Jeep. And, it's fun. And because this is supposed to be way, way more expensive than what I pay for. But, I'll take it. And it's been fun with this car. And now I'm sitting here on this hill. Like the Airbnb that we rented is on a hill, and it has like a look over to the entire city. It is pretty nice here. You're sitting here, you're looking at all this view. I think it's pretty gorgeous. And I am just grateful, just grateful to be here and just be alive in general, and get to do all these things. And it was different for me, because like everyone were nice and great, but they could tell that I act like I'm a caveman, someone who've never really been out there doing stuffs. And that's okay, there's a first time for everything. And it's just that, like, I never really felt this kind of connection in a long, long time. Because, when I moved here, it was just me, my sister, and my mom, dad. And it was in a small town. And it's probably really took a toll on me emotionally, personally, I think. Because it was a tiny school. Well, not tiny school, but, a school in the country. There are like some black kids, but mostly white kids. Well, quite a lot of black kids, actually. But not that many minority like me, like Asian people, the yellow people color. And I was always alone. I mean, my sister was there, but she was in different grades, so we rarely see each other. So I still remember those days. I still remember those days where I would hide in the restroom during lunchtime, because not high, but you hanging around in there or doing stuff just to kill the times. Because I was afraid to come out and sit on the hallway, and then people would walk by and think I'm a loser. I was afraid to go to the cafeteria, to sit in there, because it filled with people, a lot of people. And I did not have any friends. So what do? I go in there. I go and I sit by myself. And in the cafeteria, like this giant cafeteria, it's filled with all these tables, and these are like rounded table. So it had like 8-10 chairs each table, like like rounded, so like people sitting in a circle. And I would sit there by myself in the table in the back corners, where no one else was sitting, because none of the kids let me sit with them. Well, at least that's what I thought, because I never really felt welcome there, because when I first started there, I didn't know the language. I'm even surprised that I'm even like speaking English right now, because at the time, in my wildest dream, I would ever thought I'll be able to speak a single word, because I don't know how I survive it. Like, you go into a school that you don't even know the language, and before you came to America, you never learn a word of English, and somehow you survive sophomore years, junior year, and senior years in high school. I don't know how the fuck I did it. Like, I would go in the classroom, I would sit there cluelessly. I mean, luckily my brother-in-law, props for him, he bought us that translator. But back in the day, like 2013, you don't have that kind of translator like you have here now on your phone. Like, you can type in a sentence and it translate out the whole thing. No, we didn't have that back in the day. We have this little translator. It looked like a calculator, but it's flipped. So like you flip it, flip and close it, and I would flip it out and translate. And these words, they're not even like accurate, but it can only translate one word. If you type in 2 words, no, it can't do it. But one word, and then it will come out like the definition, like different kind of definition. And it was shit, because I don't know how the fuck I did it. Like back then, I would just typing out every single letter, one word, then you delete it, and then one word, delete one word, you delete to the next word, and then you would try to put it all together and hope that it will make sense. And now I'm sitting here looking back, and I do not know how the fuck I did it. I don't know how the fuck I got through that period, but it really took a toll on me. Like, imagine, I never, I had lunch there, but not all the time. And like 3 years there, and most of the lunch times, I would just sit in the hallway, or most of the time just sit in the hallway on the outside of the high school campus. And sometimes there would be some loser that would sit there too, but most of the time it's just me. And I don't even talk to the loser, because I think they're way too much of a loser than me. So I didn't really have any friend back then too. But these friends that I'm hanging out with, they are my old friend from Vietnam, and back in 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, in high school. In middle school. Like, we're still keeping in touch now. Isn't that crazy? And yeah. But back to the high school story. So I've never really grown out of my shell, because all of the things I was dealing with back then in high school, feeling so much of an outcast, feeling like I was out of place, and all of this shyness, insecurity, and the doubt, the thought that I will never be good enough, it's like engraved into my damn brain cells. And now it's hard for me to let go of those beliefs, the thought, the limited self-belief that I am not worthy of love, of connections, of being with other people. And it's hard for me to let go of the thinking of just not enough, really. And I carried that with me from high school throughout college and even now. And I'm finding it so hard to let go of it. And I am thankful for this podcast, because without this, I don't think I'll ever talk about these things to anyone. Because I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid of being vulnerable in front of other people. I always have to act like everything's fine, everything's great, and I am okay. I am okay with what I have, what I am. But deep down, I'm fucking miserable. But you know what? I am grateful. I'm grateful to be alive. And I know one day I'll look back to these days and just be happy, be content, and be glad that everything's happened the way they did. Because if it was not for the heartbreak, because if it was not for the breakdown, for the setbacks, for the things that went wrong, for all of the challenges that I've overcome, and just life, everything that I've been through, it probably seemed like nothing to other people. For me, it was something. It was something that I really had to overcome and work on. And even now, I'm still in the ditch. Even now, I am nowhere to be out of this mess. Actually, as I'm speaking right now, I am at the low, the very, very low. in the past 4 or 5 months, and I feel like this is the pivot point. Whether I let my old behavior and my old way of thinking, of making decisions, dictate the next couple weeks and couple months. Because it's like a stock market graph. Basically, yeah. Like it tumbling down, and now you're sitting there in the mess, thinking whether you're making the right choice, and whether this is just gonna be another one of those just keep on plummeting and just never coming back up, just like every other time, and it's just sitting here in this uncertainty, not knowing where your life's gonna be, and just trying to hope for the best, and hope for things to turn out the way I hope for. But sometimes you wish things would turn out the way you want. But that's not always the case. And that's okay. I'm just trying to learn through all of this, and trying to making the most out of this as I could. And today I'm gonna live. I am going to live the way I want to live. Well, I'm getting close to the 20-minute mark, so thank you for listening, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.